Hello, my name is Dr. Anthony Basil, and I'm the head of the School of Computing and AI. We hope that you enjoy this student induction for program handbooks video. You can see here a list of the main stakeholders that are involved with the program, and we'd like to point out that we're going to be asking you to stop the video when you see this pause button. So as you are progressing through the video, there may be some spots where we'll ask you to stop it and then do a small written task and then reflect on what we've been discussing and move on. So our program handbook outline is composed of these 8 key points. We'll be going into detail for each of these sections. First of all, we'd like to share with you our welcome messages. So you can see here a list of the main people that are involved in the program and introductions for each of them. So let's make explicit your learning journey expectations. This is where we're going to ask you to pause the video again and make some notes about what are you expecting from us, from the School of Computing and AI. Pause the video now. Okay, so let's go on and see what some possible types of expectations there are. Well, we would hope that you would expect to be able to graduate with your degree and to accumulate knowledge and skills appropriate for working in the IT industry. We're also going to be looking at things like graduate attributes and soft skills, forging professional social networks, and becoming motivated through the curriculum and enjoying what we're doing. So Regent's expectations, our expectations are that we want you to be a motivated learner, that we want you to become more and more passionate about computing, to find a study partner or a group of people to work together on and offline to support your learning community, and to treat people the way that you want to be treated. Respectful behavior is always expected in the face-to-face classes, but also online. Another area that we would expect would be to see that you participate in the discussions and activities. This will help you to build your dynamic knowledge and ask questions. This can be done verbally or through text discussion. You need to be responsible to complete your assignments on time and to communicate with us via the student reps, the module lecturers, or our weekly Teams drop-in sessions. Some principal aims of the program are for using our SCOPE program, which is the academic skills. So we want to help you to prepare for successful employment. We want you to develop these essential workplace skills and to equip you with the knowledge necessary to understand the ethical and environmental issues that you may encounter in industry. And in the BSc Computing and Software Engineering Studies, we also want you to develop that in-depth understanding of the role, design, development, and operation of computer-based information systems. We want to provide you with a broad education of computing with a focus and understanding on analyzing problems, and to be able to apply appropriate tools and development methodologies as we go along. The program structure is broken down here, so you can see the number of credits that we have, the module levels that we have, and also that we will be having a major project at the end for level 6, which is called the dissertation module. And in this case, you will be able to see the link for the Computing with Foundation from Bolton. The program structure sample here demonstrates a breakdown of some modules that are available, when the semesters are that you might be taking them, and whether it's a core module, that means that's required, or an optional module. And then you can see here that the 30 credits are associated with it towards your final degree. Our calendar is broken down in a very general structure here for you to be aware of, but we do have a more detailed calendar that is available where you'll be able to identify the specifics in terms of teaching and assessment. Now, the timetable structure is broken up. You can see here where we've got contact time, but then also in terms of the schedule for the 3-hour sessions, they will be across a couple days, and you'll have 4 different modules that you'll be working on. Here's an example of what the assessment would look like. You can see the module codes, when the assessments might be taking part, and then also a breakdown in terms of the type of assessment and a sample of what the weighting or percentages might look like. The student assessment procedures are important, so please do take a look at the web address for the Bolton and Regent Computing Program specifications. It's quite important that you become aware of this. We have details of this in the module handbook. You need to make sure that you're aware of the submission dates, the specifications, if it's an individual or group project or assignment. We want you to be aware of the media type, things like the word count, the weighting for the percentages, etc. Each of the assessments will have an associated marking criteria or rubric, and we expect to see the students to speak to the module lecturer about submitting any draft work or samples if you want to get formative feedback. Speak to the module lecturers about submitting the assessment via the Bolton Moodle Turnitin. This will help to check for plagiarism. And the module lectures, it's important. They cannot give you a provisional grade. So we need to make sure that you understand that if you are looking for your marks, you can have this after we've gone through our assessment quality assurance procedure. And that entails working with a moderator as well as an external examiner after the assessment board. So the assessment quality assurance process means that the marks are not subjective. They're and you should not have your student name on the submission, only your student number. Your module lecturer will do a first marking. Then we have an internal moderation process, and that is followed up then with an external examiner checking the samples of the assessments to confirm that we are following the appropriate assessment quality assurance process. Now, the area of professional development, employability skills, and professional recognition is addressed in some of the graduate attributes. We are hoping to have you develop as you're going along. Some areas that you might be interested in getting involved with will be our computing society that we're looking to be starting up in 2021. We're looking to do monthly webinars with people from industry, and this will be in our learning zone, and hoping to get the Women in Computing group going as well. So communication is key if we're going to succeed. Here are 3 W questions that you need to ask. We're going to ask you to pause the video then when you are ready, because we want to know what type of questions might you ask about your studies for the staff? Where can you find out those answers to the questions? And who do you ask? So have a think about what kind of questions you might be asking for the staff and where and who. Pause the video now, please. After you've written your comments, please start the video back up. All right, so there are three main types of situations that you may find yourself in. It could be that it's a non-academic question. So if it's nothing to do with the assignments or the learning resources, you would want to be contacting the student services, and they can help you with the operational issues or pastoral concerns that you might have. Technical issues will come in from the Regent Higher Education College support or the Bolton IT support. Some other important issues about communication concern the way that we would like you to follow the path to get the academic support. So first of all, you may want to look in the website, the Contact Us website, for frequently asked question types of resources. You can also ask your class rep. If you have any questions about who the class rep is, you can check with the module leader and lecturer. We're also going to be having our weekly Teams drop-in session every Tuesday at 1 p.m. GMT time, and the link is there for you to come and join us through Microsoft Teams. You may also contact the program leader to get information at a more general program level. The director of studies and or head of school is the person that you can speak to on a more general level about the overall School of Computing. And then we also have the dean of schools, who's a person that will be able to help you at a university-wide level, any questions that you might have concerning the academic issues or policies or procedures. And then we're quite fortunate because the CEO runs a Zoom session every Tuesday at 9 a.m. So you're invited to join in for that if you have any questions. So communication is important. The best way to communicate is by email. Now you can see here we've got our quick tips notice, and this is something that we've put into the video. At the end, you'll have an opportunity to do a quick self-assessment quiz, and any of these highlighted areas such as this could be a quiz question. So take a look at this. We're looking for an email protocol, which means that we'd like to see that in the email subject that you have your module name and code, and then your student name and whatever the question is that you have. In the body of the message, please make sure that you're clear about what your question is. So if it's specifically about an assessment, or perhaps you've got some draft work, make sure you say that in the body of the message. And then also, quite important, if you are putting any attachments in, make sure that, again, you've got your name and the module code, and then the subject of what it is that you want for that particular file. So if your name is Joe Blogs and you're doing SEC 4102, and you have a draft of the first assessment, that could be a possible file name. So finishing off here, we do have our Microsoft Teams meetings every Tuesday. You're welcome to join us. Please do drop in. It's open to all of the students and faculty. We have different people coming in. There's not a specific agenda, so it's open to questions. One thing we do ask, however, is that if you have a concern or a question, please bring along with you a suggestion on how we can address that. Maybe you've got a recommendation on how we can improve. So bring that in with the question as we discuss the team's drop-in. So this is a list of the main stakeholders for the leadership in the programs. So this is a good way to get in touch with those people, as we mentioned earlier. Now, attendance is another important issue, and we're expecting people to attend the scheduled sessions. We have policy documents which you need to read through. If you do have any attendance issues, we have some specific protocols in terms of letting the student services and your faculty, your lecturers know. If something comes up that's an emergency that you're unable to attend, please do try to email the lecturer and let them know, or let one of your classmates know so that they can pass on that information to the lecturer. We want to keep communication open, and we don't want any penalty for issues that come up that may be out of your control. So the student voice is important. We want to hear from you. You can do this through your student reps. You're more than welcome to apply to be a student rep. We'll be giving you more information from the student services group in order to get the representation for our various modules and programs. We will also be doing program feedback opportunities through surveys, etc. And the student union is another area, so please make sure that you have a look in the program handbook for some information about the Bolton Student Union. So learning resources are quite important. Here we're talking about a number of resources that the college and the university have available. This might be in terms of general inquiries that you have, well-being support, career support, your academic support. It might be in terms of the library itself or IT. And then we also have an app called Regent Connect that you might want to have a look at. Now, some learning online resources, which we would really encourage all the students to have a look at, is something called Leap Online. Here, we're providing resources and support for student engagement, academic development, digital literacy, as well as personal development. So have a look at that at the Bolton website on the page. Now, assessments are quite important. This is how we measure your progress. And submission is done through Moodle. Each of the modules will have a Moodle website. We'll also be having a Teams live discussion as well each week, but in terms of assessment, we'll be looking for you to submit your Word documents. You can check with the lecturer if they would accept a PowerPoint if you're doing a presentation, but Word is the main file type that we're expecting the submissions to be done in. And it's important that you don't wait, don't delay on your submission. Don't wait to the last minute. If you come into any technical problems, you need to make sure that you contact the IT support and your lecturer before the deadline, so that way they're able to get your assessment. The assessment regulations and procedures are on these links here, so please do make sure that you have a read through them. There are forms and procedures that you'll need to go through. If there's any type of situation where there's a mitigating circumstance, might be a health issue, family bereavement, we're very sympathetic for situations that are like that, but evidence will need to be provided. Also, in a situation where there's an appeal or complaint, we do have specific forms, so please go to these websites and get those forms and procedures so that you're able to carry on. Just finishing up, we've got some health and safety issues that we need people to be aware of. Coronavirus updates are online. Information concerning first aid or accident reporting. Of course, now if we're in the virus situation and you're working from home, that's not directly relevant, but on the campuses it is. Additionally, we do have some other information there for you. All right, and welcome to our last slide, the summary. We hope that this induction has been useful. You'll notice in the program handbook that we've got the quick tips icons that are shown throughout the resource so that it will give you a quick snapshot of some key information. And along with that, we have our online quiz for self-assessment. So we have the web address on the bottom of the slide, but you may want to pause the slide, pause the video, and use your smartphone to scan the QR code and be able to go directly and give that a try. Well, thank you so much. We hope that you have enjoyed this, and we look forward to seeing you in your learning journey. Bye now.